ladies and gentlemen. Certainly appreciate everybody coming out on this nice Friday evening to celebrate Avenue's 63rd annual meeting. It was back in 1953 that a group of families and committed people from the community, pretty much like you, a lot smaller group, who got together because they realized that they needed to provide a way to get an education for kids with disabilities in an era when there were no public schools providing services for individuals with the disabilities that we support. And given the history that our organization has and what we've done over the last 63 years, I'm very confident that we're going to be able to make up whatever difference, regardless of what the state does or doesn't do, and have Avenues be a successful organization for the next 63 years. With your support, that certainly is possible. And when you look at the number of people here tonight, what we've done for this organization, it certainly is something that's very achievable. So thank you very much for your participation and look forward to the next 63 years of service for Avenues. Thank you. I also have the distinct pleasure of presenting this year's Spirit of Avenues Award. 30 years ago, this September, Avenues experienced the first of two floods that really, if not for the support of the community and the people back then, we might not have been able to survive. But we were a strong organization then, and we were able to get through it. And when you look at where we are 30 years later, it's testimony to the people back then who worked really hard to help overcome that major, major disaster for Avenues. One of the groups that stepped up to support us were the Pioneers from the AT&T Teletype plant in Skokie, Illinois. Now, if you're under the age of 40, you only know AT&T as this big communications company that has a lot of services, but no more factories. But back in the day, the AT&T group made a whole bunch of stuff. They made everything that was related to the telecommunications industry. And it was those workers from there who stepped up to provide us with almost everything we needed after that flood to get us back on our feet. There's a picture up there of a, I don't know, 30-something-year-old guy with no gray hair and maybe 25 pounds difference. You look at the little galvanized container that I'm dragging along there, and it contained 2 personal computers, a printer, and some software that back then cost $35,000. That was the heart of everything we needed to do, from an accounting and what we needed to run our office back then. And fast forward to today, and you can buy all that equipment for probably less than $500. But back then, it was something that we needed to do, and Ron and I went into the building, walked around in the dark muck. We'd step on some things that you'd have no idea what it was, and a big burp would come up, and it would scare the heck out of us because it was an air bubble under the carpet. And we thought there was just no way we're ever going to recover from this. But the water receded, and the AT&T guys stepped up, and the next thing you know, we're back in business. And so today, when you look at pioneering, our Avenues AT&T Pioneers really exemplify what the National Pioneer Group put together. Pioneering started in 1911 with Alexander Graham Bell as one of the original members. And maybe with the exception of Mr. Healy, nobody knows Alexander Graham Bell personally, but since then, the company really took upon itself to do a lot of community service. And embodied in one of their basic principles was some meaningful activities. And I'd have to say that what our Avenues Pioneers did was extremely meaningful for us. And so today, despite the fact that there are different iterations of AT&T and the company still retains a name, they do still have the pioneering group as well. And the Avenues Pioneers are pretty much the epitome of what pioneering is all about from the company. For the past 30 years, our guys have been meeting weekly at the Wheeling Work Center, helping with maintenance, repairs, creating fixtures that help our people with disabilities do some of the jobs that they do every day. Their legacy of volunteering is one that few groups will ever be able to live up to, as far as I'm concerned, for here at Avenues. For their service to us, today we recognize the AT&T Pioneers with the Spirit of Avenues Award, supporting, strengthening, and making Avenues better for the future. Gentlemen, can you come up? Gentlemen, on behalf of Avenues, would like to present the Spirit of Avenues Award 2016 for your 30 years of effortless work on behalf of people with disabilities at Avenues. And I believe, Carl, you're the spokesperson for the group?
All right.
All right. You can just give us a little history and how you came to us. And
Well, this all began when the flood, and I went to my boss, Dale Seberg, and I said, they need help at Avenues, and lo and behold, at least three truckloads of stuff we brought over there, and that started our relationship. And I got some numbers here I want to tell you about. Right now, there's 8 members, and 4 of them were from Teletype, and we had 6 alumni. These are 6 men that moved away or stopped serving. And we had 8 deceased members. Not because they overworked here, but because they just, so, but I'm really proud to accept this award, and we, speaking for all these members here, we really enjoy doing our work there.